Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Victoria Thorpe with the Peace Journey, and we've made it to our last day, September 21st, 2013, to the Capitol Courthouse steps and International Day of Peace, and we have someone to interview here, and I will ask him the same question and ask him to introduce himself to you. And our question is, why do you think we have the death penalty, and should we continue to have it? First, who are you?
My name is Leno Rose-Avila, longtime activist in the abolitionist movement. And probably why we have the death penalty is because it becomes a political issue that people can run and get elected on. The other one is that people are making a profit off of it. And then there's the factor of revenge, because when you look at the capital punishment, i.e. the death penalty, there is no rational reason, there is no issue that cannot be answered. For years, when we started working on this issue in the 80s, everybody said it was a deterrent. It wasn't a deterrent. Then they said everybody was guilty. Now we know that a lot of people aren't guilty that are on death row. And they said everybody got a fair trial. Now we know that a lot of people didn't get a fair trial. So there is no reason to have this. We're a much smarter country. Countries all over the world are abolishing it. And the United States, that wants to stand up for human rights, is really losing its authority by not abolishing the death penalty.
So you are in favor and ready to end the death penalty now?
I would end it yesterday if I could. And, you know, we've made a lot of progress, and we've ended it in a number of states in the last years. But that's because of hard work and creative work. People like yourselves, individuals who take it upon themselves to step out, to go public, to talk about forgiveness, to talk about reconciliation, to talk about the kind of issues that are important. So today is World Peace Day. And, you know, you can only have peace when all the human rights of everybody are protected. And when all the human rights of everybody are protected, you're not going to have the death penalty. If you look at the death penalty in this country and all the murders that go on every year, nobody's afraid of being executed. That's not what's going to stop it. Most of the people who are involved in violent crimes have other issues. So unless we address the roots of violence and revenge, we can never stop people from committing horrendous acts of violence.
Well, and isn't it a horrendous act of violence when we take a defenseless person and we make a ceremonial execution, killing of them? So we are doing what we are saying is wrong, I think. What do you think?
Well, I think it's even worse because it's premeditated. And we say, you know, we're going to execute you, and it takes us 20 years. And we say we're going to kill you, and we're going to torture you all this time saying that we're going to kill you. Instead of being just, we know that it's cheaper to keep a person in prison for life, keep society alive instead of executing. So it's really, we're more violent than the people who committed the crime. And that's what people have to see. And we know if we can send people to the moon, we're sending rockets around to Mars, we're creating science and medicines to help people. Surely our good minds and hearts could tell us there's another way to keep violent criminals off the streets, give people a fair trial, which they're not getting today, and really have America stands for the best of its history. And we know we have a lot of this. When we look at these days, when we executed people, when we took people's lives, and you know, it's gonna be a dark part of our history, just like slavery was. And today we know that it's more important, not the crime, but the color of the victim. And it's not about getting justice, but it's about putting poor people, black, brown, yellow, white, Native American, in a prison system to await the death penalty. There are no rich people. We know rich people commit crimes, even more heinous crimes than some of the people that are on death row. And they don't get it because you have a good defense. They're able to provide the kind of evidence that the court seems to buy. But when it comes to poor people who depend on good public defenders who are overworked and understaffed, have no money for investigation or very little, they cannot give the kind of a defense that a rich person gets. So this is not about justice. It's about wealth. There's if you have the capital, you don't get capital punishment. If you have no or little capital and you happen to be the wrong color and your victim is the other color, you're more likely to get the punishment. You know, this is really a punishment in search of a crime. That's what it is. And a friend of mine wrote a book about that, you know, what we're looking for is we want to punish people, so then we want to have a crime that does it. Even the 13th Amendment talks about that. You know, when we said we were going to free slaves, unless they commit a crime, then they end up going back to their slave master's place to work. So even in our Constitution, we made some errors early on, and people don't want to see that. So one is, if America wants to be the best in the world, if we want to bring out the best of men and women and be an example to children, we have to show them that we're smarter, that we're more compassionate. And, you know, I'm always reminded that people are better than the worst thing they've ever done. You know, that's what you have to. It's very simple. People are better than the worst thing they've ever done. And we've all done some bad things, and we're much better than those things that we did. And every year we're going to get better if we learn and we listen to people. You know why Europe does not have the death penalty? Because they saw what a government can do. They saw the killings, the atrocities of World War II. When governments run amok, when they have power and they unleash that power, they know what those atrocities do and the lives that they take. You can never bring them back.
Yeah.
And, you know, and everybody thinks about the victims' families, and we should.
Yes.
And we need to talk about them, and we need to be compassionate about them. But it doesn't help them heal when we execute a person.
Yes.
And when we execute a person and demonize that person and his family, they also suffer. We should not make people suffer. We should find ways to heal. Every psychiatrist, every psychologist, every compassionate religious leader will tell you is revenge is not the answer.
Yes, I agree totally, and I love the way you put all of that. What our goal is, and why it was called the Peace Journey, and why Leno is supportive and part of this, is because true change comes with understanding and compassion, and a true peace for everyone in society will come from lowering the fear, lowering the anger, being practical, logical, and compassionate, and understand each other and treat each other as human beings. And when we kill somebody else for killing somebody, what does that say about us? That makes us hypocrites. That makes us lose our own self-respect and human dignity. And we all need to cut it out in the death penalty.
It's very easy. Just treat everybody the way you would want to be treated. Fairness. Everybody gets a chance. Everybody has family. Everybody has loved ones. So we have to protect them. When we begin to do that, we begin to heal. When America heals, the best of America comes out. And we know America can be better than it is today. We know it can be great, and it's great in many ways, but we need just this one thing to get rid of to make us better.
Yeah, it really will. And I thank you so much for taking time to be with us today and to talking to everybody out there. Please listen. Please contemplate these thoughts.
Can I say one more thing? I just want to thank the three of you for you, Adam, and the young lady, Jamie, for doing this walk, because it's an important example. All of us, it's not a matter how many people you get. Do you have the right people? Did you stand up for a cause? All great causes begin with one or two or three people standing up and doing the right thing, and they become an example for others. That's what Martin Luther King taught us. That's what Gandhi taught us. Cesar Chavez, Rosa Parks. It wasn't 80 people sitting down in the front of the bus. It was one person. Yes. And that's what sparks a movement.
Oh, I hope so. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to say goodbye to everyone for now, and peace to all of you, please.
La paz.